Shabbat Tov, everyone. Welcome to Tillis Tells Stories for Saturday night. The title of this week's video is Smoking on Shabbat in Meah Shearim. I adopted and expanded the story from a weekly emailing of Shabbos stories for the Parsha, based on a translation by Rabbi Reuven Semach from the book Aleinu L'Shabeach. There. An Israeli couple lived many years in a secular kibbutz in Israel. As years went by, they felt a certain emptiness in their lives. Eventually, they came to realize that their lack of connection to their innate Jewishness was the cause of this feeling. Slowly, they returned to the Torah true way of life. They even decided to move to the ultra-Orthodox Meah Shearim neighborhood in Jerusalem. This amazing couple continued to grow until the husband became a completely committed Jew. The wife was also became very religious. There was only one thing that held her back from complete observance. She had a strong smoking habit. She actually smoked on Shabbat, right there in the midst of the crowded neighborhood of pious residents, considered the most ultra-Orthodox neighborhood in the world. The most unusual part of this habit was that it was only on Shabbat that she couldn't stop. She had no trouble the rest of the week. Everyone tried to get her to quit, and she herself desperately wished to, but to no avail. When Shabbat began, she had an uncontrollable need to smoke. Eventually, the spiritual guides of the couple went to the now deceased leading rabbinical decisive, Rabbi Eliashiv, to ask his advice. Rabbi Yosef Sholem Eliashiv was considered by hundreds of thousands of ultra-Orthodox Jews in Israel and worldwide, and all Jews, all kinds of Jews, to be a world-leading expert on Jewish law. He resided in a small apartment on the edge of the Meah Shearim section of Jerusalem, where he was famed for his assiduous 16 to 20 hours a day of Torah study, up until his passing in 2012 at age 102. His grandfather, Rabbi Shlomo Eliashiv, was a renowned Kabbalist, author of Leshem Shevova Achlam, popularly known as the Leshem. Anyway, Rabbi Eliashiv, told him to investigate her mother, her mother's mother, her mother's mother's mother, and even further back if possible, to clarify if they were all Jewish. After a short time, it was revealed that her grandmother was not Jewish, her mother's mother. This translates to mean that the Shabbat smoker was not Jewish. They immediately went to the community rabbi to tell him the news. His reaction was amazing. He said, "Look, and see how much mercy God has. We're talking about a woman who truly wants to do God's will. However, he knows that she isn't Jewish, although she, a Saber, an Israeli born in Israel, apparently didn't know. As is well known," the rabbi continued, "a non-Jew is forbidden, according to Torah law, to observe the Shabbat complete in all its details, 100%, and technically would be punishable with death for doing so. But since she desired so sincerely to come close to the Jewish people, in heaven it was decided to help prevent her from committing the sin of fully observing the Shabbat as a non-Jew. So God gave her an uncontrollable urge to smoke on Shabbat, which prevented her from observing the holy day in its completeness, and yet she observed it in every other detail. This in turn led to us finding out that she isn't Jewish and needs to be converted. So I recommend that her smoking on Shabbos let us find out that she isn't Jewish and needs to be converted. The investigations from that. So I recommend you arrange with her to do the conversion, and you'll see that the urge will cease. And that is exactly what happened. So friends, we see a behavior that clearly and scandalously seemed to be the opposite of Shabbat observance, as you can see in the third verse of the weekly reading of Vayakhel. She was Exodus chapter 35. She was so that this behavior, which seems so opposite and scandalous, was actually observance of Shabbat at an exceptional high level, the highest level possible for her at that time. How mysterious are the ways of the Creator! How puny our short-term, limited human understanding! How fortunate are those that can trust Him and His overall, far-reaching plan!